What's going on, people? Hello, I'm back again with a podcast. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, it's been a long time. I've been doing a live stream. I've just been busy, as always, with work commitments and everything else. But we're back again today to talk about today's game that ended Forest 0, Fulham 0. And yes, people, I was angry. If you did see me at the Union pub, this guy knew how angry I was before we ended the 0-0 draw. And I'm still angry. But we are going to talk about it. If you are new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment below. People get involved with the discussion about today's game. Yeah, I'm not. I'll talk about that later. Des will be on later on the show, so he'll be there again. But let's talk about the panel as well. First of all, we've got the man himself from Australia. The man himself, David. How you doing, David?
Yeah, good, Ben. I watched the game on 3-hour delay. I just decided I wasn't waking at 2 a.m. to watch. So I watched it on delay, and then I watched Liverpool let a goal in 5 minutes later.
That's what makes me more fuming. Okay. Thanks, Liverpool. Thanks.
But looking forward to chatting about it. One thing, look, Nottingham Forest has given me a lot. So we're all in this together, guys, and we'll get through it one way or the other. So looking forward to chatting to Alan. We chatted with Alan in the green room, and I think he's an absolute legend. So g'day to you, Alan.
Thank you.
Don't give Alan any happiness, man, because this guy, right, he's a top bloke, man. Let's keep it real. Alan is a top bloke, man. Always shows me love. Always shows love to Forest. But you're bell end, David. I mean, Alan, you are bell end. Because
thanks, Ben.
He spilt my drink. It was your. I think it was your fault.
No, you was extremely angry earlier, Ben, and then your arms were flying everywhere, and then the next thing you know, your drink went everywhere. It nearly hit me. That was before the game.
This is before the game.
Yeah, so his arms would have been flying everywhere, and the second that he hits you, Alan, of course, it would have been called by the security guards because everything seems to get called and doesn't go our way. But if you knocked Ben drinks over, you would completely get away with that because nothing seemed to get called.
Absolutely.
So people in the chat, please show your love to Dave and Alan, man. Like I said, Des will be on later on after he finishes dinner. So hurry up, Des. But like I said, people ended Forest 0, Fulham 0. Like I said, I'm going to just get in the comments as well. Jem, Molo, Big T is going to start next week. Again, we are going to talk about that later on. Played well for 8 minutes. 8 more 0-0s might be enough. 37 points. Colin, hi, are you right? I hope you're well. People, if you want to be a member like Colin and Jem, please do as well. Kevin says, Big T won games, everything. Like I said, we are going to talk about Tyrell Warney. Why angry before the game? I'm just angry. I'm so angry with what is happening with the club. If I'm honest, and then when you hear stuff, it makes me more angry than anything else. But morning, Justin. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're well. Tez, I'm just mad. I'm not happy, Tebs. We had that discussion that we had in the car about certain things. I'm angry. We have to beat Spurs. We have to beat Spurs and Burnley. Yes, we do. Got no choice. Agree with Mr. David. I hope you're all well. I'm feeling worried for us to get relegated for really trying to remain positive, but I'm a bit worried. Eve, I'm trying to find some positives, but hopefully at the end of the stream I'll feel positive a little bit. Again, who did we batter? We had 2 shots on target and no on target in the second half. There's my point. As well, me and my mate looked at each other and both said 0-0, and I can't see where the goal is next coming from. I feel exactly the same. Feels like a place, Sam. I hope you are, my friend.
Taiwo is where the next goal's coming from, Ben.
Before we get Alan, Dave, talk to me. And people in the chat, get involved with the conversation. David, come on, talk to me.
Well, it's just deflating the whole experience, really. And I imagine that in the ground, the fans were not that animated and it wasn't a Nottingham Forest experience that you might have gotten from the Premier League in years past. They just don't seem to have an oomph to them. And all the creativity or the movement off the ball and even the moments where they do kind of look good, you just know Ndore's always offside. So even when he scores, you're like, you just always know. And they just don't seem to have that quality at the end of the pitch, and they've all gone backwards. So look, goodness me, Chris Wood just can't come back soon enough and every signing's just been an absolute disaster. I'm not sure Pereira's better than Dyche, so should we have not sacked Dyche? And this is, well, given we ended up sacking Dyche.
Hey, in the comment section, in comments, don't. I'm not saying nothing
because we ended up sacking Dyche, and
not
then because we
saying
ended up
nothing.
sacking. It's just a never-ending, spiraling whirlwind of just pain. So, look, it's pretty tough being a Nottingham Forest fan at the moment. I guess the benefit you've got, Ben, at least you live in Nottingham and you know more Nottingham Forest fans. Football training for me on Wednesday night's going to be awful.
You know, before I get Alan in, it just frustrates me and what you just mentioned. Like, I'm going to dig up Pereira because I think all the managers we've had, it's the players. I think it's the players. This is what's getting me so angry because.
But why are the players who were good last season not good now, Ben? Or was last season an anomaly? Because the season before that, they weren't that good either.
You know what frustrates me? We drawn to Man City 2-2. Especially the second half, it was fantastic. We play against these lower clubs. They don't care.
Fulham's not a low club, Ben.
No. Fulham's a mid-table. Right, I mean, Alan will say, I spoke to Alan before the game, Fulham are a mid-table team. Fulham's got nothing to play for. They've got knocked up in the FA Cup. And I said, oh, no, let me get Alan in. As a Fulham fan, Alan, like I said, Fulham, they had one chance in the second half. And we look at, like I said, I'm talking to quite qualified, like there's no energy from Fulham. And we should be like on it. Like, yes, from a start whistle, thinking, yeah, we can win this. Nothing for me. Yeah, the Daniel Dore goal, you can say if we didn't have the VAR, I think it would have been a goal. But Alan, give me your thoughts as a Fulham fan. What's your thoughts on Forest?
I expected more today, to be honest, especially that first half. I thought, well, this is one of your final third of the season games that you need to win to get points to stay up. And the intensity wasn't there from the start for me. A lot of long balls, cross the field balls, which went into no man's land. But I think for a team that's trying to fight for their lives, the intensity just wasn't there. And to be honest, in that first half, it felt a bit like a pre-season game. Both teams were sort of sitting off. Not much was happening. And yeah, it's tough for you because you're on your fourth manager. You started off with Nuno, who had one style of football. Then you went to Ange, who had another style. Then you went to Sean Dyche, who then had another style. And now you've got Pereira, who yet again has another style of play. So I do sympathise with the players a little bit from your point of view because, you know, they don't know whether they're coming or going or who's the next manager to walk through the door. But I think if I was a Forest fan today, I would have expected a little bit more.
A little bit more energy. Just a little bit more heart.
You don't think they're trying, Ben?
No. Not one bit.
Does it look that way to you, Alan, that they're not trying?
Not that they're not trying, it's just they just look a bit buoyed for ideas at times. They just don't know.
They definitely look like that. I'm just not sure that they're not trying. I just think they just don't know what to do, Alan.
I think the fans started early on to get behind the team, but then after about 15, 20 minutes, the City ground went a bit quiet. Yes. And then it's down to someone in a red shirt to go, right, we need to get the atmosphere going. I see Sells try to do it in the second half. Gibbs White as captain, I don't know. I'm not really sure on that one, but it was tough today for us in particular, but for you, a game which you would have had down as a must win. I think I'd be slightly disappointed if I was a Forest fan today.
Let me ask you, David. We mentioned the team. I think I spoke to Alan. The team where we started, that is our strongest team. Like we can complain about Dominguez playing right wing. I think he was more of a number 10 today. More to than Gibbs White was more left wing.
They played Gibbs White out wide, so it's a little more unconventional.
Yeah, but that's still a strong team. That is our strongest team. And like I said, and this is no disrespect to Fulham. And Fulham got good players. Fulham's got nothing to play for. I think, like I said, no disrespect.
I'm sure that's true, Ben.
We are still fighting for Europe. We are just.
No. What I'm saying, like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful towards him. Like we've had a conversation about Silva. I said, I think like all Forest fans want Silva. I don't know why. I mean, I can joke about it on this, but if Fulham Silva wants to be in that top 7, be more, just show more love until I want to win the game. Today, Fulham didn't want to win it. And for us, if Fulham don't want to win it, we're going to push it to the next step. I'll talk about Tower later on. It's just like, yes, it's going to be boring. It's going to be 0-0, nothing, and everyone be happy. Yes, we are at bottom 3, but it's just frustrating when you see like Leeds drawn 0-0, West Ham drawn 1-1 yesterday. Come on, let's do something. But it just doesn't. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed at all. But Dave, I don't know. What can I say? Do you disagree, David? Everything I say, or just?
I'm not sure that I agree with the fact that they're not trying. I certainly agree with TJ's comments that the fans are exhausted. So I often talk about this. You have a relationship with the Nottingham Forest Football Club. And so, you've got a relationship with the players. I was like, I feel this when I see Taiwo, and I feel this when I see Ben Dore, and I feel this when I see Morgan Gibbs-White doing his flicks. And to TJ's points, it is exhausting. And sadly, the team actually needs the fans to get behind them in a way that I'm not sure that the fans have got it in them at the moment. And so that, yep, you're here, we're going to make this difficult for you. I'm not feeling that come through from the way that Nottingham Forest are presenting themselves. So I can certainly feel it. And to the point of, like, it's just been such a long season. We'd all take 17th position on goal difference right now if it was in front of us. We'd all take it and just move on to the next season. So it's going to be down to the wire. And let's just talk about another thing I want to mention is people say the players don't care. They do care. Like, it's not good for Morgan Gibbs-White and Ellie Anderson to be on a team that gets relegated. If they're on a team that gets relegated, their really World Cup chances are gone. Like, it's not good on your resume. Stuart Pearce and Roy Keane hate being on the relegated Forest teams.
Dave, let me flip it. And ask Alan, people in the chat as well. Do you think Ellie Anderson really cares much? Because he knows, and and England manager said he's already on the plane. He's already started lineup, and he's that's right. And he's not going to push it more to get Forest out of the bottom 3. That's how I feel. Elliot Anderson, one of our best players, should be like, okay, I'm going to boss it. Look at Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't think Gibbs-White will get the World Cup, but he's playing much better than Anderson, if you know what I mean. He frustrated me more. His set piece was crap today.
I just don't understand why he's not on the football pitch after training for 2 hours, just hitting corner after corner after corner after corner. I just don't understand it, Ben. Alan, like, you look at our set pieces, you're not exactly quaking in your boots when Amari Hutchison or Elliot Anderson kicks a corner, are you?
Not today, but that's been our weak link for the season, to be fair. We can't defend set pieces. We can't defend corners. We can't defend throw-ins. We can't defend anything. And not once did I feel, this could go in. Not from corners anyway. But
certainly the Fulham ones felt like they could go in. There were a couple of whizzing ones. There was one at the Trent end and I was like, oh, goodness me, that was like fortunate. Yeah, so Alan, I always put it this way. When you're playing against a team and a player gets the ball and you're scared of them having the ball, have you got that with any of the Nottingham Forest players? You're like, oh, no, I really don't like it when Anderson or Gibbs-White gets the ball. I just don't think any opposition teams have the fear from any of our guys.
Previously, it would have been Gibbs-White and especially Hudson-Odoi. But Hudson-Odoi was playing from the right today, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Which I thought was great for us.
He wasn't great.
He's pretty one-dimensional as well then, because he can only go one way. Hudson-Odoi off the left seems to be more scary as an opposition than Hudson-Odoi on the right. But again, he's someone you look at and go, he can change a game in the blink of an eye, but you never actually felt that he was going to do that today. I think Nico Williams was probably your most attacking threat in the first half. He was the only one I sort of looked at and went, oh, actually, he's causing us a bit of problems, but he can only do so much from the left wing back position. So,
having said that, if Aina scores, I thought that was in when he hit it. I thought, it was in it
as well. I thought it was in as well. I'm changing subject a little bit. The substitution, and this is where I'm going to praise Pereira. I don't know if you agree, David, and people in the chat. but like Callum Wilson went off, Dominguez went off. He's not afraid to make subs. If you crap, you go off. And I feel, I don't know, did Omar Hutch and Dan O'Doy, his new name is Dan Offside Nadoy. Omar Hutchinson, I don't know, I don't think he did much. But Taiwo and Ryan Yates, I thought Yates would come on. I thought he did well. Taiwo again, done much better, David, than Luca on Thursday.
No, of course he did. Well, you saw Cooper go back to this of, who are the players that if Forest get relegated, who are the losers that come out of this and their career takes a serious dent. And Ryan Yates and Taiwo Awoniyi are two that are going to seriously be knocked around. So if you do buy into the players aren't trying, then those two, you'd have to argue Amari Hutchinson being on two relegated teams. Yeah. He gets relegated again. He's a championship player. And so you just got something different from those guys. I'm not exactly, I have to say it again, I don't think Alan's quaking in his boots when Ryan Yates comes onto the field.
But no one does though. But no one does though. Like, the thing with Yates, you're right. I love Yatesy. But sometimes, I said it on this podcast, that there's a time where he's not a first team player or not even going to come off the bench. But when he come on, he showed a little bit of love and we can do something. Like I said, he was telling fans, come on, we need your help. Him and Taiwo, come on. Taiwo did this.
They've been through this before. They know that they need the fans. But Taiwo, Yates is not exactly
so angry, David. He was so angry of these players are not. And you know what? I'm going to call him out. And I don't care what anyone says. Murata gets called out every single time. Murillo, I don't care what people say. It's been awful.
Well, his distribution's certainly been poor. He seemed to twinge his hamstring again.
Why is no one calling him out?
I think he does get called out, Ben.
He doesn't get. Dave, Alan, do you, I know you watch Fulham all the time, but what do you think about Murillo today? People in the chat, you tell me about Murillo. He scored a wonderful goal against Fenerbahce, but he's not getting called out. If that was Murata would get absolutely hammered.
If Murata doesn't have the runs on the board. Anyway, sorry, Alan.
I'm talking about defending. I'm talking about defending. Not going forward, defending.
I don't think Murillo had much to do today, though, to be fair. I don't think we troubled you that much at all. we played into your hands. We played the ball long and expecting Jimenez to win balls against Milekovic and Murillo, and it's never going to happen.
Okay, right. Let me call out Sangare then. Go on, David. You know what I'm going to say. Talk to me. No. Sangare, talk to me. What's he done since Dyche has left Forest?
He didn't have one of his better games, that's for sure. In fact, I don't remember him making much of a tackle or a key pass or doing much of anything really.
You know what? I was speaking to Ali, Malcolm's missus. When Sangare was on the bench against Midtjylland, he should have started. He's not a player that can come off the bench to make it change. But for him to start, I just don't think he's gone back to where he was now.
He certainly seems to have regressed. I think the confidence of not being picked versus Midtjylland certainly would have hurt him, and he's not bossing teams around the way that you might have expected him. And if we are going to get that out of him, you could argue and probably be successful in saying that Yates should play instead of.
I'm not saying that.
Oh, but you could have argued.
No, I'm not saying.
You could have argued that. But Sangare, I think, seems to go on the same roller coaster as the fans, and so when the fans are down, he doesn't seem to get up. And even though he doesn't respond that way, he just didn't seem to boss them in midfield as much. But again, Fulham are a good team, so maybe he just doesn't get the same chances.
I've always said he played his best football under Dyche, because Dyche knows how to deal with people. Like he had Doku under Everton, but for me, it's gone backwards. Players don't care. I'm just like, I'm lucky to go to all these Forest games. Alan's lucky to go to every Fulham game. We want to see a team perform fantastic.
Yeah.
If they
Let's
lose,
do this. Hey, Alan, from the Forest team today, who would you take? You can put them in your team. Any of them. Who would you take? You can have anyone you want. They're free. You can have all of them. Who would you take?
I'd take Milenkovic. I would take Gibbs White. I think he's still a fantastic player.
If Gibbs White makes your team.
I'd say so as a 10. I think we struggle with Smith Rowe at times and Josh King.
Does Milenkovic make your team, Alan?
I put him in there. I do worry about Anderson sometimes, Joachim Anderson. Although he's a very good centre back, I think Milenkovic is slightly better, and he's someone that I do like, to be fair. But probably only those two.
That's wow.
Pretty telling.
Wow.
G'day, Des.
G'day, Des.
Good evening. You all right?
No.
I know.
Doesn't
I've been listening. You're on one tonight, aren't you?
I feel like Des in Braga away. That's how I feel, Des.
Oh, Des feels like Des in Braga away as well. I've been in a mood all day.
I'm not the only one. I'm just like before you. Have you finished, Alan, on your say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a short question, Ben, because he was asked which Nottingham Forest
Milenkovic
players would you put in the Fulham team, and he only said 2.
Who's it?
Milenkovic and Gibbs White.
That's it.
Not with Yates.
Yates?
Yeah.
No,
Yates.
maybe in the reserves, Ben.
You know what? I don't know if people noticed and people watching. Do you know Yates was playing as a number 10? He told McAtee to push back into number 8 role. Don't know if no one noticed.
Oh, for a couple of minutes, Ben. It was
I don't care. It's a number 10. He could have scored. You're such a Yates hater, David, man. Come on, man.
I'm not. I'm just.
You
just can't say that Ryan Yates is a 10 when he played there for 90 seconds at the
he
end of a match in injury time.
Come on, he made a little bit of difference than anyone else did.
Well, that wouldn't have been hard, Ben.
Of course he would have been hard. No, this is crap. We're just crap. That's what it is. Des, come on, talk to me, man. I've had enough of this positivity from this guy. It's too much positivity.
I'm just realistic, Ben.
It's not realistic. We were crap. Simple as that. Go on, Des. I'm out of a drink.
Look, right. I'm just sort of catching up, obviously, on what you guys have said. So apologies if I do repeat. I have been listening, but to me, I'm worried. You know, watching that yesterday, falling into the bottom 3 was a different feeling. I don't know. We had this kind of out of body experience yesterday of we're in the relegation zone now, and it feels different. And then to go and watch that, look, we weren't absolutely pathetic in the sense that we could have won a football match today, but we were pathetic in many ways today. You know, the fact that we had a couple of chances that golden chances, you know, and for as well as Tyro did, and he was brilliant in many ways, he should have scored, you know, and this is why he sits on the bench quite a lot. And also the fact that Fulham was on the beach, you know, already. Fulham, they were tidy, they were neat, they were well-oiled machine in the Premier League. You know, Alan knows I love Fulham as a football team and what they're all about and what they've done since they got promoted. They've been consistently in that mid-table, not like us bouncing about everywhere like a basket case. And I just thought today that game was there for the taking. The first half was poor for both sides. One chance each, the header for Fulham, and then Gibbs White had a free kick, really soft effort. And then after the break, of course, you'd expect attacking the Trent end, you know, Forest to go sort of a little bit gung-ho. We need the points. You've seen it in the Spurs game. You know, if Spurs start like they did against Liverpool against us, we'll be gone. We'll be 2-0 down and we'll be relegated because we should have been going for it. And what really disappoints me is the club made this massive effort with a crowd and you're a 12th man, you're this, you're that. You know, I did it on my little pre-thing, trying to rev people up to get excited for this one. Then they go and play in a way where they're not creating chances. You know, it just changes the formation, moves Callum Hudson-Odoi onto the other side. You know, we've been creating chances. There used to be a saying in football, we're going to give someone a hiding if we carry on like this. Do you know, somebody's going to be on the end of it. And it just felt to some degree that's the way it was going. And all of a sudden we go and make changes and we're all withdrawn and we've got players playing slightly out of position and there's no energy in the team. I heard you talking about the crowd. Do you know, Alan mentioned it, hit the nail on the head. There was a bit of oomph at the start and then it quickly peters out. But that's where the players have got to take that forward. Do you know, and this argument you're having there, just trying to cover your points as much as anything, the argument you're having about effort, you know my opinion on effort, it's not been there. They're not working at 100%.
That's my point, Des. That's my point. And now I've got to your point, Des. There's no effort.
Yeah, I know, but
I just don't think they're good enough, Des. I don't think it's the effort. I just don't think they're good enough.
They are good enough. That's the problem. Because when they play the big teams, they turn it on. Do you know? And this is the problem. They're getting points against Arsenal. They're getting points against Man City. They won away at Liverpool. When they turn it on, and so I do think they're good enough. And the frustration is, and it's not a Forest exclusive problem. Spurs are the absolute classic example of it. It's a problem within football. The game has gone. Do you know? It's a cliche. The game has gone. Fulham today. The players aren't playing for anything. Do you know, they earn enough in a week to set them up for life. Do you know, so something's got to happen somewhere because there's no incentive. There's no motivation to do well. You talk there about a relegation on the CV. I don't think they care because the next move's already lined up. Probably the move after that's lined up. It's like a robotic sport now where everything's planned for the future. Do you know, it's like AI in the future. Everybody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, but Des,
and I just think if they play...
Des, your point on some of them know. Gibbs White and Elliot Anderson know where they're going, but there's a majority of them that don't.
But they do.
There's so much on the line for Yates.
This is the way it works. Do you know, this is the way it works. Murillo, he'll know where he's going. Do you know, if we get relegated, they'll have moves lined up. This is how it is.
Not all of them.
Dave. We hear
not
the
all of them,
rumours
Des.
and then they transpire.
No.
Not all of them. He's been lined up with Man United. All of a sudden, his form's dipped a little bit. And that's most of the players who are in this relegation team. And that's where I think sometimes there's a little bit of drop-off. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, when they scored the goal, which was disallowed, everyone was really excited, and I like the way they celebrated it. It obviously does mean something. It does mean something with the way they all jumped on and Dore. But the players who are coming off the bench simply aren't good enough. Do you know, and that whether that's Yates, Tyro, Dore, Hutchinson, they're not good enough. The players that are good enough are not committing. The first player to make a challenge today was Ryan Yates in the 77th minute.
Thank you very much.
77th minute, he smashed into Bassi and the ball went up in the air. And until that point, I wasn't thinking like this. I wasn't in a bit of a rant state with it all because I thought, we have given it a go today. We have tried. But until I saw that and then remembered back and thought, nobody's made a tackle. We're in a relegation dogfight. We're playing a team who can't be bothered themselves. And nobody smashed anyone until Yates come on. And I think, what does that say for everything? And when he came on, I don't think he did much. I don't think Dore did much. He was on the wrong side of two decisions that split fraction decisions, which could have made him a little bit of a hero for the day. But in terms of his general play, not good enough. And neither was Hutchinson. You know, you can't be praised for things that don't work within the rules of football. You used to have to put crosses on people's head to get praise for crossing, not just throw crosses in willy-nilly and he's played well today. No, they didn't. They were poor. You know, there were poor efforts from substitutions who should be trying harder. And I felt in this position against the team we were playing, we were simply not at it and not good enough. And that's where I lie with it. And it really worries me now because I think I was confident we'd go to Spurs before today and we'd steamroll them in midfield. I thought we'd steamroll through them with the quality we've got because you've got both teams who are a bit namby-pamby at times. Today, after seeing Spurs, and I wasn't impressed with them or Liverpool, you know, I think if they give it a go in the way they did, they'll walk all over us. They'll be up before we even know where we are. And if we go behind, we know what the outcome always is. And that's where I'm at.
Can
with
we
that.
build? I want to
really
build on something
frustrating.
Des said. But so Des, your commentary was that there's a bunch of players, the elite considered players in the Nottingham Forest team currently are not trying. So because they don't have to put in, the comment was there, Sangare doesn't go in on the 50-50s. So you've got a bunch of players that have already lined up their moves. So does that mean that you would change the squad then and pick Yates and pick the more peripheral ones who may not have the ones moved or the ones that you can see are trying? Is that what you're suggesting? How do you fix it,
Dave,
How do you fix it? What do you do? It's an observation, but what do you actually do? What's the fix?
This is my frustration with football and Forest, because you can't change it, because the players coming in aren't good enough. And I think this is part of the problem. They're not being pushed for their place. They're not being pushed by anything that come in. They pissed away 150 million on crap wingers. So those wingers, Callum Hudson-Odoi has been up and down through the season. I think he's been one of the better players in general. But he's not being pushed for his place. And the problem is we can't bring anyone off the bench because I've already said it. Tyro's not good enough. It's all right, everyone clamouring for him now. When he's out of breath after 25 minutes next week at Spurs,
He's the best of them, though, Des.
He's the best of them, Des.
He's the best
of them.
He is. But when he's out of breath and he's breathing out of his arse after 25 minutes and can't run, everyone is going, get him off, blah, blah. This is how quickly it changes. So, Dave, the answer to your question is no, I wouldn't change it. My frustrations with the managers, all of the managers, has been they can't get it out the players. They can't get it out the players. So, I felt Dice came in and he's got this hard man image of rattling a few cages. I don't think he did. I think he had too much respect for the players. I think Pereira's come in and gone, oh, I'll put my arm around you. And then they've just gone, oh, he was like that. Now you're like this. We're getting a bit of an easy ride. And I think a lot of the responsibility lies on the players. I'm not saying consciously they don't try, they don't want it. But when you see Yates come on and smash it on, when you see Tyro run around like he did, we know he's not particularly fit, but when he's running around with the amount of effort and the amount of commitment and desire that he did,
that's my point, Des. That's my whole point.
It embarrasses the ones that were there who are technically better and more gifted at football.
But that's my whole point, Des. When, like I said, when we bring on Yates, and I said at the start, when Yates and Taiwo are not I think they're not as good as I think they are. They've come on and they're doing better than the other players. Yates, he got to bat. I couldn't believe it. Bassey's a muscly guy. Yates battered him. I couldn't believe it. I think to myself, where the hell is Sangare? Why is Sangare not doing that? This is why I get so angry about Sangare, because I've just mentioned when he was under Deitch, he played his best football under him, and now we've got Pereira, and like Des just mentioned, just make sure you do something better. He's not doing nothing for me. This is what gets me upset. Really,
Can I just ask Ben, Alan? You put in the comments you think will stay up. Why?
That's Freddie. That's Freddie. That's his son.
I thought it was Alan.
No, yeah, that's his son.
He's watching it at home.
Yeah, that's his son.
All right. Well, your
that's
son's probably right too. All right. Well, could we ask your son why he thinks we're going to stay up? Can you get him on?
No.
Why do you think?
We'll ask Alan. Come on, Alan. Talk to me.
I think you'll just do it. I do. I don't think you turn into a poor team overnight, because last season you were phenomenal. You're going to need a bit of luck these last few games, but you just need a bit of dog in you. I think a lot of today you were too scared to lose at times, especially that first half. You were sort of too afraid to make things happen. You were happy just to sort of let the game sail on. But I think you may kick yourself today for only getting a point. But then again, by the finest of margins, there was the penalty which was given, which was ruled out for offside, and then the goal which was ruled out for someone having too big of a toe, which is ridiculous. It's not football. I hate VAR. And then we could be sitting here now and you could be celebrating a 2-0 win and things are looking rosy. So it is just fine margins, but you need to be on the right side of them. And hopefully by the last game of the season, you're 17th and you're here again.
I can't see it. This is why I said I've never been low. I know it's a point. We're out of the relegation zone. But
the thing that does me with the question, and look, we never know because teams miraculously go on 3-4 game runs and pull themselves out of it. I'm not saying we're down. The way it looks at the moment, I think it looks like we're going down, but purely because we can't score. And unfortunately, to win football matches, you need to score goals. We need to score 2 in most games. Admittedly, we've kept a clean sheet today against a team, like I say, no disrespect, but don't really think they were trying that hard. We've kept a clean sheet, but normally we'd have to score 2 at least, and we can't score 1. And that's facts. That is literally facts. That's not opinion. That's not we managed to score 2 at City, like two worldies. When Morgan Gibbs White scored at Brighton, it was a worldie. But where are we like creating these goals where we're picking teams off? And I just think without that, we're really, really going to struggle. West Ham are safe for me. West Ham are safe and gone. 1 or 2 more wins, and I think, and they'll get them because of the momentum they've got built up, and because they're a lot better team than they were under their first manager. I think it's between us and Spurs. Next week is obviously massive, but as it stands, it is just simply facts that Forest can't score. There was a stat, I've seen it sort of on Twitter or somewhere, 20th in the league for goals at home, 20th in the league for winning at home. That is frightening. That is absolutely frightening. And everyone always goes, "Oh well, we'll go to Spurs and win." Well, why? Because we're on the same kind of run. It don't work. We're not just going to start winning 3 or 4 games.
We're more likely to win away, Des. So maybe
you know what? I did say before Des said, I did say. I said we draw Man City 2-2. We play better away than home. I don't know. People in the chat, do you agree or disagree? I think we play better away from home.
Well, the pressure
when
seems
Pep's
to be off
watching,
them.
can we get Pep down next Sunday?
So just on the confidence of the players and them trying an effort, does the return of Chris Wood into the team, because you notice it with Jesus.
We need him back.
So the runs in the box, they're just not present. And so there's countless times where you're like, yeah, Chris Wood would have been a yard ahead of that because he would have read the play differently. So if Chris Wood returns, does that bring an air of confidence to the team in a way that like, all right, well, maybe we can score now. So then suddenly they're going to start trying a little bit better.
I think yeah. Because I don't know if Des will respond to this. With Jesus, I feel he's not scoring goals. And I spoke to Tebs before the game. He's not scoring goals for his Premier League. He's scoring goals in Europa. But if we get Chris Wood, I feel, especially the wingers, will work even harder because they know someone like Chris Wood will be in the box. He scored 20 goals for his last season. He scored against Brentford at the start of the season, scored 2. And that's what I think we were lacking. And I think people are scared to just cross the ball for Jesus because he's lacking confidence. Don't get me wrong, but when we do long balls, he does what he does, and Des will say he does it differently to the other strikers. But he just when's Chris Wood coming back? No one knows. I heard on.
I think he'll be back in time for the World Cup. He's going to play the World Cup.
He's definitely going to play the World Cup.
He's going to play the World Cup.
But it just frustrates me.
The thing is with this striker situation, right?
Yeah.
The thing is with this striker, I've been a massive fan of Jesus. I'm not going to lie about it. Recently, he's gone right off the boil. Yes, people will argue with me all day and say, well, he's not really been there all season. Look, earlier in the season, he was a big, powerful presence up front, pulling the ball down on his chest, linking the play up. Players weren't responding to what him and Gibbs White were doing half the time. There was too big a gap between him and Gibbs White. Now he's gone completely missing. I will accept in this last because what's happening is they're not putting the ball in quick enough because the wingers aren't confident. So they're not putting the ball in quick enough. So he stopped making the runs. He shouldn't stop making the runs. They shouldn't stop putting the ball in quick enough because one's not doing the other. You should be doing your own job. But it's natural instinct. If you play football and you keep pinging the ball in and the player's not there, you look for a different way to play. And all of a sudden, they're trying to play it into his feet all the time. When his strength was that ball on the chest. He was incredible at bringing the ball down in the air on his chest. But now all of a sudden, they've started trying to play it into his feet. They're asking him to make different kind of runs, which, fair enough, we need goals. We need something a bit different. But they're not getting the ball in quick enough. He's not making the run when they do get the ball in quick enough. So everyone turns round and is just going... And again, this is confidence, and this is why we're not scoring goals. We're not scoring goals because we haven't got good players. You know, I've questioned a little bit, is everybody at 100%? But it's not because we haven't got good players, because I looked at Brighton's team. You've just asked Alan the question, how many players you'd drop straight into their team. I looked at Brighton's team. I thought Brighton would take every single player, apart from the one that plays in Matoma's position. Man for man, we were better than Brighton. But the problem is they're just not playing to the ability they're capable of, and playing in a way that suits everybody and confident enough to do it. So now you've got a striker up there, is like an headless chicken, who's not the same kind of powerful as Tyro. So you just put Tyro on and he becomes a battering ram. That's what he's there for. He's there to be a battering ram. Run through, take the knocks. You know, this is why he can only play for half an hour, 45 minutes. With Jesus, he's running around, not getting anything for 60 minutes, no confidence, ball's not coming in. Players frustrated with him. Morgan Gibbs-White is massively frustrated with him. You can see it. You know, so he's not thinking, oh, I'll get the ball into him quickly, and it all falls apart. As quickly as we get on the edge of the box, it all falls down. You know, and that's what's happening the further we get up the pitch. And whilst everybody's not doing their bit, for Jesus to be a really good striker, you saw it in the Betis game away. Give him chances and he'll score you goals, right? But he's that on a plate type striker. Put the ball in front of him and he'll score it. But I always remember the best player with his back to goal for Forest I've ever seen is Marcus Tudgay. It could turn and spin. Jesus is actually a forward-facing player, but he's having to play all that off the chest. He's good at that, don't get me wrong. All that into his feet. And they're not getting balls in behind the back because he's coming deep, because everybody's on the heels. When you're confident, when you're flowing like we were last season, you know, Chris Wood, he doesn't make massive runs. He doesn't move a great deal on a football pitch. So everyone's talking about the lack of runs and the lack of effort. What he does do, he's very clever at it. He finds space, you know, but he was on his toes all the time. So when the game against Brentford at the start of the season, when Anderson wins that ball halfway through his own half and just whacks it forward, Chris Wood is gone. Chris Wood is gone because he knows it's likely to come. Now, that ball's not coming. Whether it's Anderson winning it in the same position or not, that ball's not coming through. So Jesus is unsure. Do you know, whoever, Jesus, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, whoever's Undoy, you know, they're unsure. And that's why they're not scoring goals. They're not bad footballers. Do you know, Elliot Anderson, talking about 100 million quid. Gibbs-White, 60, 70. Sangare, Man United. What's going on there? Why can't we create goals?
You know what it does?
Because the confidence is that gone from the team, and everybody is concerned about the situation and almost pointing the finger elsewhere. That's how it's been all season.
Guys, let me question. Let me get Alan in this, right? Because, like I said, we have 4 managers, Alan, and you know, and we've not spoke about Pereira as much. And I was saying, I was saying, the more I'm getting angry, he's winding me up now. Pereira's like, we draw 0-0 with Wolves, Dax gets sacked. We draw. I'm not saying people I want Pereira sacked because I don't, because it's just stupid if people do talk like that. Do you think Pereira can keep us up, Alan?
Oh, I think confidence is. I think Des has made a very good point with the confidence thing. You know, some of these players are on their 4th manager in 7 months. And I don't think the confidence is going to be there when you're chopping and changing managers every sort of 6 to 8 weeks by the sounds of things. But I think if there's one man you want in charge now between now and the end of the season, it would be Dyche. I think he's a man that's been there, he's done it. But I think a lot of it now is going to come down to the hunger of the players. I think it's going to be on the players, no matter what tactics Pereira puts out there. I think the players need to look deep within themselves and find that extra 10%, even the extra 5%, because it's going to be important, especially next week when you play Spurs. I think it's going to be the biggest game of your season. But you do have the trip to Denmark before that, so you've got a tough week coming up. But I just want you to beat Spurs, and I think the players. It's down to the players ultimately. But do I think Pereira will keep you up? Yes, just.
There's another topic, and everyone can get involved. This is from Warren, and me and Des, we spoke about this loads, and I spoke.
So did we, Ben.
And we have David as well. And I'm going to ask Alan as well. People in the chat, right? Can I ask you, chaps, do we need to bottle the Europa League this week to stay up?
Well, you know what my answer is, Ben. So why don't you ask? Would you want to ask me first?
Come on, let me ask you first. And then people in the chat, come on, get involved. I want you to get involved, man. Why
I don't think bottle.
Comments? Get involved, man.
Bottle's not the right word, but what's the priority? So if we're going to win the Europa League, we're going to need a bit of luck. And so if we do need a bit of luck, then we need to somehow fluke a win with the B team because we need the A team.
Why? I don't get why. Why?
Because you're asking too much of the players and we want them switched on for the Spurs match. So we're not going to win Europa League anyway. Does that team seriously?
How do you know? How do you know we're not going to win it?
Because I watched today's game, Ben.
Come on, man.
We're not going to win Europa. Come on, the teams are just going to get harder and better. Michelin are a well-drilled team, well-coached. They've got good team harmony. They're going to be tough for us to go there and win, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. And so, if we are going to win the Europa League, we need a result with some of the B players. So we're putting in Luca and place Angare again.
Good enough, Alec, David. The players are not.
But none of them are good enough, Ben.
Huh?
According to Des and you guys, none of them are good enough. So
they're not good enough.
No, it's
a squad game, Ben.
They're not good enough. They're not good enough. Tell me a player on the bench is good enough to get to be like today. It was our first team players, our first choice.
Tell you a player who's good enough to start in Michelin who might be able to get us a result. Yates. Argue with that, Ben. Go.
No, I don't think it's good enough because.
So I'm now arguing for Ryan Yates being good enough, and you're arguing the negative.
No. I need to try what word I'm saying. Right, I love Yates. Yates comes on the pitch. Des mentioned when you got people like Yates and Tyro Wanley coming on and putting the coming on and just doing better than the other players, but the players don't care. I don't think Yates is good enough to start. I think he's a player that can come on. Last 30 minutes, that Alan will know, he rattled Bassi because he did. He rattled him.
Can start in the Europa League, Ben. Come on.
If we want to win it, look Fenerbahce away. Fenerbahce away. Tell me, what player? Was it? We had the same usual back four. Anston, Sangare. Who else played? Was it Des?
It's the usual starting 11.
Yeah, usual starting 11. That team should be playing against Michelin away on Thursday.
Basically today's team.
Yes. We need that team.
It was today's team apart from Hutchinson. Hutchinson played instead of Dominguez.
Yeah.
Look, Dore, I've argued till I'm blue in the face about this. Right? The fact of the matter is, you hear managers talk constantly about the next game is the most important. And they try and fob us off. We know it's bullshit, but they try and fob us off with this to say, oh, we want to build confidence, we want to build momentum, we want to do this, blah, blah, blah. We know they're talking nonsense because now they're talking about throwing the game, basically. So, look, to get these players on form, to get these players confident, get them in the team. Get them playing in Europe. Turn it around, right? Win 2-0 out there and then go to Spurs and see what they've got. They've just had a week off. They've just had a full week off. Yes, they've had a couple of games in quick succession, and admittedly, Thursday night and today with the weather, it would have been heavy on the legs. But they're professional footballers at the end of the day.
Do you think the coaching
get
staff
out there,
review?
do the job?
Yeah, but it's not just the players' bets, Des. Do you think the coaching staff will watch the Midtjylland game back and will build a strategy and a structure for how they think we can beat Midtjylland? Will they go and prep and watch that? Of course they will.
I don't know.
If they're going, yeah, all right. So that the coaches, they're going to go and prep. And they're going to go and get a team ready and do a whole bunch of prep and do a whole bunch of things. That's going to be a distraction because then they're going to come back for the Spurs match and they're not going to have as much time to get ready. There might be weaknesses in the Spurs team that they can unlock by rewatching the Liverpool match that they played. And then it's asking too much of them. It's
but that's not good enough, Dave.
We're not good enough.
That's not good enough.
No, it is. Yeah, but you can say that it's not good enough. I'm just trying to get us to survive, Des.
To watch
you can
the
say
team
that it's
win.
not good enough. We're not good enough, mate. We're not winning Europa League, Des.
But there's 600 people travelling to Midtjylland to watch the team win, right? We've 30 years, right? We've waited to play in Europe again. What's the point of throwing the thing? What is the point of getting promoted, finishing in the top end of the Premier League, being third for most of the season, and then throwing the next season? Because I tell you what, there's no guarantee if we put all the reserves in on Thursday that we beat Spurs. So if we get beat to Midtjylland and then we get beat by Spurs, what was the point in anything? What was the point in anybody turning up this season? Because football is about winning and scoring goals, and building confidence in the process. So what is the point if you're just going to go, oh, forget that? And there's too much disrespect shown to people who follow football, who support the team. Alan today, he's been to watch his team who potentially could push on for Europe. Again, it's not just a Forest problem, but they could press on for Europe. They're on the beach. He's not the only Fulham fan. I've got someone who follows me on Twitter who said the same.
Didn't Fulham not play their top team again in the FA Cup as well, Alan? So it's not they're rotating squads even for that.
Yeah, but
what do you think, Alan? What do you reckon, Alan? Give us the answer.
Stop there. Right, Alan, answer this question because David thinks, right, Alan, if you was in the same situation as us, Fulham in the bottom half and using Europe, but you had to stay up, would you say, oh, forget about the Europa? How do you feel, Alan, about that?
It feels like it's a double-ended sword. I think short term, the Europa League's great, and I think Des made a good point. You don't know when you're going to get European football again. But the longer term aspect is you need Premier League football, especially with the funds spent in the summer last year. And just for the future, I do think the Premier League's important for you. It's tricky because winning does breed confidence. And especially now, you need confidence, as much confidence as you can get. But a positive result on Thursday with a few fringe players could then make other first team players sort of step up their game a little bit. But I'm going to sit on the fence with this
Alan,
one.
don't bother sitting on the fence. Stop it. Don't sit on the fence, Alan.
All right, let's parachute you in, Alan. Let's just say,
right, if Forest don't win the Europa, if Forest don't win the Europa, which they probably won't, even if we try to win it, we probably won't, like Dave says. Do actually agree with him on that point. The teams are getting tougher. Midtjylland are like a machine. We can't get past them. They're not even that good. They're just
bullies! They're bullies, Dave, Des. They're bullies. That's what.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's their way.
It's not fine. We need to be played like when you got played on Sendori, select and go past, and just like, oh, yeah, go Mitchell, go through him. It's fine.
No, it's not fine on our part.
Do what Yates did. What Yates, come on.
It's not fine on our part.
Who's like a credible
It's their way of winning a football match. It's their way of winning a football match, and they've got it down to a fine art. So that's fine for them. We can't argue with what they're doing. I'm asking us to be bullies. But the point is, if we don't win this competition, right, these players are all going anyway, right? Anyone who thinks we're going to rebuild next season and go and finish 7th or 6th and qualify for Europe again because we sold all our best players, every single one of them's on the way out, we're going to get relegated next season. So what is the point? What is the point of football? We don't know that for sure, of course. And I see Alan's point in the fact that, yes, it is really, really important to be in the Premier League as a football club who wants to move forward. But the reality is, if we finish 17th, these players are off anyway. you know, because the place has gone toxic. Everybody's on the case. There's people like me questioning their attitude and things like that. So we're in for another season of struggle. We get relegated next season and we don't come back. That's the way I see it. That's the way I fear it. The best thing I think we can do is try to finish 17th and try to win the competition, because the one thing that might keep hold of a couple of players and keep us moving forward is the carrot of Champions League. Look, it's a very, very
But
long
now you're
shot.
saying we want to keep the players, Des, who aren't trying.
Well, it's football's problem, Dave. It's not Forest's problem. It's football's problem.
Yeah.
So we'll only go out and sign another 11 who don't give a shit either.
I think there's also a difference between the playing on the Thursdays and the Wednesdays, guys, with Europa versus the Champions League. I feel like the Europa on the Thursday is there's just psychologically something that's just too close for us to just knocking it around. And there are comments in there about playing too. Like, and I'm not saying to bottle the game match against Michelin. What I'm saying
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
No, I'm saying we play some of the big teams.
No. Alan, in the middle, what's he saying? Be honest. Don't give me no.
I'm saying we play the B team and we still try and win, but we play the B team.
A B team's not good enough.
Our A team's not good enough.
But B team's worse.
Are they?
Yes. Yes.
You know, to contradict everything I've said, Dave, right? If they play the B team and they play it 100%, I'll get right behind it. My big problem after Braga was they played a mixture of the two, and the players who come in just walked around on their heels, shoulders down, don't give a shit. You see McAtee today, first 2 touches. What, Jesus Christ, we spent 25 million quid on this kid for Man City. First 2 touches, he runs it out of play.
Yeah, but he's coming on with 3 minutes to go, Des. It would be like asking Welsh Steve to come into the podcast now and give us some comments on Nottingham Forest match and say, "Well, Steve,
he came on with 10 minutes to go."
And then
he
on the podcast.
He come in for the last 10 minutes. 10 minutes he come on
in for 10 minutes, and he could have passed the ball to Einer next to him. Do you know? I've said it for weeks. If you're not in form, if your confidence is low, forget the tricks. Just pass it to your mate. Once you've made that completed successful pass, your confidence will just improve that little bit more. Do you know? Make another couple of passes. Do what you're supposed to on a football pitch.
That's a good way of building confidence, Des. That's not wrong. Is to just they need to get back to some of their fundamentals. Don't dribble the thing out of play
and then you know, shoulders go down. It's pathetic, and that's what happened in Braga. He wasn't the only one. Ben Dore is just as bad. People saying he were good today. Watch what he does off the ball. Do you know? It's not good enough. It is simply not good enough. People get too excited because, he nearly won a penalty or he finished the ball where he was offside. Illegal goals don't count.
Oh,
yeah, illegal goals don't count. Like Dan Dore. Oh, goodness me. He is probably my least favourite substitute that Nottingham Forest bring on.
Well, he done better than Callum. He done better than Callum Hudson-Odoi. I love Callum Hudson-Odoi, but I think he did better than him, to be honest. He just offside. He can't bloody hell. Like Alan said, VAR, it's a nightmare, but it's the football rules, not Forest rules. So, people, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you know. Boys, where do we go from here? Oh, God. Let me get Alan's point. Oh, God. We go to Michelin.
You go to Michelin with the big team. That's where.
As a Fulham fan.
From Copenhagen.
Oh, God. Alan, as a Fulham fan, you see everyone was moaning. I'll just whinge. I've never whinged. First time in one day I've whinged. I can keep on going whinging. Alan, what do Forest? I don't know. What can Forest do, man? I don't know what can we do. It's like, do we give up? Do we give up on UEFA and focus on Tottenham? Play the C team. Play the C team like Dave Watson plays the C team. Put Sells up front or something like this. Put Yates in goal.
It's risky, Ben, because if Gibbs White or Anderson gets injured in Europe and they're out for the rest of the season, then that's when it becomes tricky. But you play your best team. You try and win every game you can, especially for the fans that are traveling out there.
I'm not saying you're not trying to win every game.
You're saying to play the B team. You're saying to play the B team.
I actually agree with what Alan just said. You try and win every game.
No, you
right?
You want to play the B team.
What are we trying to do? No. Let me finish. You're trying to win every game. So therefore, you are picking teams, and to the point of, we're just focusing on the next game. You're not just focusing on the next game. You're focusing on all the games. So therefore, what do we need to do to maximize the number of games that we can win in totality, not just winning the next game or the one game after? We don't need to try and win as many as we can. Well, here's the other point. If you do field the B team, let's just play that out. You play some of the 18s. What if one of the players just has an absolute standout game and comes from absolutely nowhere, and suddenly you have that wow moment and you're like, whoa, then that person has won themselves a way in of helping us. And there might be a player in the squad that's not done that. So
he's frozen. You're frozen. No, you're not frozen now. Keep talking.
To me.
Yeah, you was frozen. Now you can talk. You can talk now.
Well, my point was good. Don't worry. Just take my word for it.
Okay. I don't know. Is there anything else we talk about today? Anything else? Des, do you want anything else?
Honestly, for the sake of the season, we have to try in this game. You can't be a follower of a team and just accept, some of the crap that comes out of football people's mouth. We've had managers. I'll mention Cloughie, but Cloughie tried to win every game. He took a Soccer 6 tournament in Australia and took his first team mid-season, to win it back in the late 80s. That's a long time ago. But even since then, we had Steve Cooper. The old adage with Steve Cooper was next man up. Next man up. You play your strong team. If you are going to get an injury, you're only likely to get one. You can be really unlucky. I remember 2 centre-backs going off in the first 5 minutes at Fulham once. But you're not likely to come out of one game with 7 injuries. So Cooper, it was always next man up. And if someone was a little bit under the weather in the cup games, when it was a little bit less important, someone was a little bit under the weather, he'd change it for the sake of it. Somebody carrying a knock, or Steve Cook had played 12 games in a week, he'd change it. Then Nuno come in, and it was pretty much the same mentality without him sort of reeling it off every week. It was, we take the next game as it comes. The next game as it comes. And that's all it was. This all changed. You talk about the mentality of the Thursday night, Sunday, Dave. This all changed when Dice came in. Well, Postecoglou first, because Postecoglou wanted to win the cup again. He just went, sod the league. They told me they want to win the cup. And he dropped the first team players against Sunderland. And we got beat 1-0 at home, and it was a shock at that point in the season. Yeah. Then he couldn't get the balance right. Then Dice comes in and he wins his first game in Europe. And then we play on Sunday at Bournemouth and we got walked all over, particularly in the first half. And he realises that the players are not fit enough and can't do it. So then it became psychological at that point. It became psychological because we got beat at Bournemouth, which we could have done anyway. We got beat 5-0 under Nuno. We got beat at Bournemouth. But then Dice is gone. The players are not fit enough. So the players have gone, hang on, we're not having this guy. He's told us we're not fit, blah, blah, blah. Dynamics change. The whole, it's psychological again. Rather than just go, we're going to go and attack every game and try and win it. Cooper, next man up. Nuno, next game's most important. The mentality's changed because you've got a manager now who's obsessed with the cup. And then you've got another manager who's told everybody they're unfit. So they're not having him either. And this is where the problem stemmed from. We went to Graz, and I keep referring to this on my own Twitter. It's the first time I mentioned a lack of application. We went to Graz, and we should have won that game comfortably. They're by far the worst opponents we've had this season. Worse than Braga even. And we got a 0-0, and Gibbs White missed a penalty. It could have been a different story. You take the win, blah, blah, blah. But from that point, it's all gone wrong. It's in people's head. I totally agree with that. It's because a Wednesday and a Saturday never used to be a problem. It was never an issue Wednesday and Saturday. All of a sudden, a Thursday and a Sunday, you can't do that. It's because people are using it. Managers are using it year on year as an excuse when things aren't going right. So players use it as an excuse, and then fans now, because they listen to every piece of crap that comes out. It's all spin that comes out of a manager's mouth. If you've watched football long enough, you know that. and now fans believe it because they don't actually watch what happens on the bloody grass. You know, people need to start watching the actual game of football to understand it, because it's not won like that. It's not won by dropping players, doing this, doing that. The most successful teams play the same team. Arsenal, they play virtually the first team. At Mansfield, they took 1 or 2 out at Mansfield. Yeah, and
they've also got elite level, world class players that have got outrageous fitness levels that are just way above what we've got, Des.
But it's a winning mentality, isn't it? And this is the problem. We've got an owner who everyone raves about with his winning mentality, and everybody around the club, every fan, every player, every manager has got a defeatist attitude. You know, if you want to look, if you want to do well this season from here on in, stay in the Premier League and win the Europa League. You know, reach for the top. If it don't happen in one or the other, tough. Take your medicine and go again. But that's not a winning mentality, what the owner's trying to instill. People have switched off from that now because he ballsed it up over Nuno. You know, that's where the whole thing
Nuno
gone
balls
wrong.
it up with him, Des. Nuno had to go.
Well, he had to go, but I'm not arguing
He had
that.
to go.
But that situation ballsed everything up. Whoever's fault it was, whether it was Nuno, Marinakis, Edu, whoever's fault that was.
The structural choice of having a football director with Edu was correct. It's just Edu was the wrong person to put in that job.
Whoever.
And that was the bad choice.
That's not the point I'm making. The problem started the day he appointed Edu, and at the end of the day, the owner appointed Edu. The structure's right, like you say, but the problem started there. So whoever's fault it is, but the day Nuno left the club was the day everything changed. And you saw at West Ham after the game.
They were in trouble before Nuno left, though, Des.
No, he wasn't.
We had a bad end of the season. We fell from 3rd to 7th.
But you didn't listen to what I just said then, did you, Dave?
I always listen to what you say, Des.
The problem started the day he employed Edu. The day he left, yes, you're right, I missaid what I was going to say, is when everything went to pot. You know, it had already started because of the appointment in the Leicester game. Nuno had switched off from that Leicester game. They all made it about Tyro and made out he was injured and he'd hit the goalpost. It was about what happened on the pitch after that game. And that was because the owner wanted more from the team because he's a winner. Nuno then went, I'm out. He gave him a new contract and he thought, I'm definitely out now because I've got 3 years payoff. And so you're right. I'm not saying Nuno is exonerated from any of the blame, but the day he walked out the club was the day we faced all this. Because you saw in the West Ham game, all the players, Dice must have thought, like, he must have been seething because all the players just went and hugged Nuno. They're all still bought into what Nuno did, and they've bought into no one else since. And again, this is part of the problem. They've got talent. They're incredible footballers. I love them as players. Anderson, Gibbs White, absolutely amazing. But the application is wrong. Whether it's a little bit of shirking something, but
I think Nuno knew, Des. Nuno knew the signings weren't any good.
Exactly. There you go. And then he brought in a load of crap, and there's nothing to substantiate a Europa League run. I get that, but you still got to try. Otherwise, what's the point?
It was difficult. It's like a corporate thing where the business grows and then the founder has to put someone in between themselves and some of the staff members, which is exactly what Marinakis did with Edu, and it was a poor appointment on multitude of levels, and the real outcome was the poor signings because none of those players have hit. Like, there's not one of them that's any good. And if we were to rate every single Nottingham Forest Premier League player, if we get relegated, which we might end up doing, all of those signings, Backward and Dore, they're going to be all down the bottom. They're rubbish.
100%.
Do you know what I thought today? A really quick point, because I've said enough there, but a really quick point about the game today. I watched Gibbs White throwing his arms up in the air at Jesus and Hutchinson and things like that. Rightly so, he's getting frustrated. We've all got that in us if we want to win. But I thought, remember when you were playing with Brennan Johnson? I don't particularly rate Johnson and think he'd make much of a difference in this situation. I do rate Johnson, but I don't think he'd make a difference in this situation. I think remember the chemistry. Remember the chemistry between Johnson. Gibbs White made Johnson a far better player. I think that's probably been proved over time.
Yeah, that's
Gibbs
right.
White's made Chris Wood a better player. And now I felt throw them players back into this team, and what difference would it actually make? But it's not working with the current ones because they're just simply too far behind what we had already.
Understand. Before we go, Alan, you got anything to say? Like, where do Forest get from here, Alan, as a Fulham fan? Alan's a Fulham fan, in people, if you want to know. So, Alan, talk to me, man. What do Forest need to do? Like, can we stay up?
First and foremost, don't sack another manager, please.
We might do. Right, before we wait, I don't know if Des or Dave or people in the comments have listened to Steve Hodge after the game, and he was saying basically, if we lose to Midtjylland and we lose to Spurs, he wasn't saying I want the manager gone. He's thinking Marinakis, whether Marinakis is, we'll get rid of him. So just don't want to.
That would be remarkable.
That would be remarkable.
That don't help, does it? That doesn't help anything, does it? Because it's the same with Tudor, isn't it? You got Jamie Redknapp yapping away on the telly. Oh, he needs to go after the Liverpool game. It's not bloody Tudor's fault, is it? When Tottenham played at Forest, they were pathetic. And now all of a sudden Tudor can't get a tune out of him. There's a massive thunderstorm here.
There as well, man.
Great. Can I just say, Alan, great answer to Dore's question there before when you got cut off by all of us and you didn't get to answer. So we'll just say, do you need us to repeat the question, Alan, or do you remember what it was?
Ben, if you just repeat it just quickly, and I'll elaborate on what I said.
What do Forest need to do now?
Oh, yeah. So I said, don't sack any more managers, please.
Wait. Before you answer your question.
You said last time, then you got interrupted. What's the next sentence, Alan?
If we sack him, I'm begging Mr. Marinakis to the heaven, do not bring in that clown Silva.
He won't save you. But I don't know. To be fair, I think Tottenham actually getting a draw today is probably good for you. As silly as it sounds, it means they ain't going to get rid of Tudor before you play them next week. So I think that's a big plus for you. But you just got to grind out the wins. I think Yates coming on today and Taiwo, they did make us step back a little bit. They sort of woke us up. And I just think you need players that care is the wrong word because I think they all care in their own way. And they are all playing for their future. But you just need to find wins from somewhere. Dore for the fifth manager. Jesus.
Hey.
Sorry, Ben. Sorry. No, you just got to grind out the wins one way or another. Just get enough points to finish 17th.
Alan, we've got to score goals. We're not scoring.
That is true. But I don't know. But the thing is, I just want to go back to when we had a similar situation. We had 3 managers in 2014 and we went down without a whimper. The only saving grace you've got is that you're still in the hunt. You're still on the same points as West Ham. You're currently outside the bottom 3. So it is in your hands. So every game you have to go into like it is a cup final. And look, you have a decent squad there, very good squad. It's just the fact that Nuno is the manager of West Ham as a neutral. It just doesn't sit right. It just looks like he started off the season with you and he's ending it with West Ham. And
Aaron, you know who's scoring the goal that's going to send us down, don't you? You know who's scoring that goal for West Ham?
It's Adama Traore.
Adama Traore.
Oh, God. You know what?
He's going to hit the back of the net and every Forest fan is going to go.
You know what? You know when he come on against Man City, I thought, you know what? He could have done that for Forest, man. Imagine. All this because Nuno wanted Traore and Marinakis said no. No, it was Udu. Udu said no. So,
he was right.
The point on managers, right? Do you know Tottenham have been linked with Dyche, haven't they? He's been one of the names. And I think the best possible thing for Forest would be if Tottenham went and employed Dice this week, because our players will play at 150% to get a win over Dice. I think that is the best possible thing that could happen, apart from Tudor being in place.
Right, people, we need to wrap up. They need to wrap up because it's early. But I want to say thank you for everyone for coming on.
David's got to go to work.
I'll just end with this comment, Ben, to end the show. Des, I agree with everything you said, except I disagree with everything that Ben said.
What?
I agree with Des and disagree with Ben.
You confused him there.
Just everything. Just everything. I agree with what everything Dev said, but disagree with you, Ben, on everything. Whatever you say, it's wrong. Right,
this is the last time that David will be on this show, people. So if you want to give any comments for David, please do. I've had enough of him already. I'm only joking, people. Why come for me? Because I'm in a bad mood. I have been in a bad mood all day now.
Bad mood.
I've been. Ask Alan. I even took my juice on the table. That's how. Well, I'm not going to swear, people. But yeah, we did a great show, people. As you know, me and Daz will be going to Denmark on Wednesday morning. So
enjoy the B team.
I'm not
going to the reserve game. Reserves.
I'm not responding to Dave at all.
Michelin could put out the reserves and still beat us.
Michelin the Michelin podcast. They're just sitting there, they're going, guys, these guys are so crap. Every single time we turn up, they've got a new manager. Like, surely we only need to put out the B team. Like, I hear there's some 12-year-old kid in like the Danish 12 Bs that we can put on the team that can probably take on Forest.
So what about playing someone called Ryan Yates?
Look,
we had a different manager every time we played Michelin.
You know what?
Yes.
If Ryan Yates scores against Michelin, I'm going to FaceTime David straight away from Denmark. And say,
that'll prove me correct that the B team could have won.
No, he's not. It's not.
He's the B team. He's the captain of the B team.
He's the B team, but right. David's got to go. I've got to go. David's got to go. I don't know what Alan's doing. He's there. I don't know what he's doing, but people, it's been a great show. Thank you for everyone as well.
After this, I think.
I'm going to do a show Tuesday before I head out to Denmark. But yeah, it's been a great show, and yes, I'm still tomorrow. I feel better.
Hey Ben, that show you're doing on Tuesday.
Right, I'm going now. David's going.
Can I just say,
David, you just say you want to go.
No, I'm just going to say, I'm sure the show on Tuesday will be with the B team podcasters
again.
Not Des and me. We're the A team, right, Des?
I'm not saying anything.
Shout out to you, Glenn. Well, Steve.
Oh, no. Happy birthday to Glenn. 50 years old today. So leave Glenn alone. Leave the guy alone. Happy birthday, Glenn. Hope you have a great birthday. And to his brother as well. Happy birthday to him as well. Right, it's been a great show, people. Before you do go, please do a massive favor. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you do, and do me a massive favor. It's going to reservice to a Leicester fan. I'm just put in the comments, League One. That's all you've got to say. Just redirect people. It's going straight to Leicester fans saying League One. Hopefully, I'll be in better mood on Tuesday. Des, you better get your running right there because Des is doing a running well. You did the running, say, didn't you, Des?
I did 16 miles from East Midlands Airport to Nottingham Castle.
What was your time?
2:30. Shocking.
That's shocking.
So I think the point you were trying to make there is, and I'm going to plug it myself now, is I'm actually doing the Paris Marathon on April the 12th for Prostate Cancer UK. So if anybody would like to donate, I'd very much appreciate
people, please donate.
Thank you.
Please do, if you can.
I think that's what you were trying to say, weren't it, Dore?
I was trying to, but it's just middle words. But yeah, Alan, it's been always a pleasure. Alan, my favorite Fulham fan as well. Always pleasure. And David, this is the last time you're on this channel.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Peace and love. Up the Forest.